Ear. Ear. Oh, we just got that on repeat, though. Ear. What's up, chat? How we doing, YouTube? How we doing, Twitch? Happy Wednesday, January 29th, the year 2020. 6 games of basketball tonight. Let's cut the tunes. We'll cut the tunes. Hopefully you guys did well last night. Last night, a little bit weird, right? We had some really massive chalk that went banana rammers. Chris Middleton, 76.5 DraftKings points. Becomes, the second guy in a couple days to drop 50 real points? Eric Gordon the other night against Utah? That's nuts. Bradley Beal tried to keep the Wizards into it. He almost got 50 real points. And of course, Eric Bledsoe was also of elevated ownership. So those guys set the bar really high. There was also Ersan Ilyasova. He was so high owned that it really didn't matter what he did, but he actually underwhelmed. It's incredible to me that the Milwaukee Bucks could drop 151 real points. And basically 2 guys were relevant. I mean, if you played Dante DiVincenzo, you were definitely super happy. But man, that's wild to me. Like, only 4 guys had double-digit real points on the Bucks last night. And, you could say 10 or less real points for all but 3. That's an incredible night for Chris Middleton, Eric Bledsoe. Can't really say victory laps on them because everyone had them. But the rest of the slate, I guess Drew Holiday was up there. I was definitely not there on Drew Holiday. DVP definitely could put you there. But I figured with Zion Williamson back in the mix, or in the mix rather, that usage flow chart was just so diluted. I just didn't mess with the Pelicans. I did have some Zion on DraftKings. I did have Devin Booker. Had some Nikola Jokic. Now, usually 50 points for 10K doesn't really get me out of bed, but hey, you'll take it yesterday. D'Angelo Russell with a 50 bomb at Philly. Also, we saw a strong game from Draymond Green, so I was definitely not on the Warriors yesterday, and you could have got a couple of solid games from them. DeAndre Ayton had a big game. Kristaps Porzingis ended up playing after all. I kind of had a hunch that he wouldn't, since it was a back-to-back, and it was his first back-to-back since coming back from his injury a couple weeks ago, but he did end up going. Jonas Valanciunas, big play. Larry Nance Jr., 46.75. I thought there was a shot that Kevin Love wouldn't play, but Kevin Love did play, and Larry Nance still went off. And then can we talk about the 10 minutes before lock, or maybe 15 minutes before lock, but closer to 10, I promise. It was close. Devontae Graham was literally ruled out. He was literally ruled out. He was out due to an illness. And I was like, oh, man, that shook things up, because I had some Devontae Graham on FanDuel in the 6K range, and I was like, all right, we just got to yoink all that. But then we started thinking about Malik Monk. We started thinking about Dwayne Bacon, and there was a couple lines now we were working on with Dwayne Bacon. And then minutes before lock, Devontae Graham was rolled back in as a starter, and that, of course, was a game at tip. So that was a very annoying curveball. If you guys got hit by that, let me know in chat. I guess the caveat there is, like, Bacon was really just the pivot to, like, a Dante Exum, but I didn't really like Dante Exum either. Anyway, he ended up being massive chalk. I'm telling you guys, that one game Exum went off was, like, such an anomaly. Like, an anomalic, astronomical, and that, like, it doesn't happen. Dante Exum doesn't do that. So for him to be upwards of 50% owned in some contests last night was just an incredible fade, if you guys were with me on that one. But past that, I mean, the slate was pretty balanced in terms of fantasy points. I wish I was a little bit more receptive to the fact that Thomas Bryant could play over 30 minutes, a couple games in a row of low output. But outside of that, man, it was a pretty okay average night. Nothing too crazy. I guess Luka was the guy I saw most people tilting last night. Luka Doncic from the Dallas Mavericks against the Phoenix Suns, a team that he was averaging high 60s on, dropped 32 fantasy points. Not what you want. Only 25 minutes of action there, so that's pretty rough if you guys rostered him. But hey, It's Daily Fantasy, man. Onward and upward. It's a new day. Yes, it is. We are live on YouTube. We're live on Twitch. If you guys are watching, be sure to drop a hey in the chat or some yours to the subs, man. Appreciate everyone tuning in. I did reschedule the stream. We were scheduled to be 4 p.m. Eastern, but I decided this morning that we could knock it out. Or excuse me, we were scheduled to be 3 p.m. Eastern, but I figured we can knock this out at 4 p.m. Eastern. So here we are. Shout out to Ernesto. Shout out to Tony W. Just in Sports. Danny, California. What up, Danny? Saint Case. Just in Sports. Let's make this be a paper. Yes, sir. Ernesto. Eric, Chris, Drew went to work. Man, I did not have Drew. And I won't pretend to have Drew. I just didn't. Alton Marshall scored at 351, doubled my money. All right, hey man, that's the goal, right? Well, I mean, I'm sure the goal is to move more than double, but that's fine. Walking away with more than you walked in with is a good start. Ernesto. Draymond, too, did not expect D-Russ throw, and Boyce was right yesterday about Ben, but Trey pooped himself, too. The same as Trey and Cat for Monday. Yeah, man, there's a couple of games lately where guys that have such a strong DVP matchup, or say BVP. You guys play baseball, batter versus pitcher. Doncic had crushed in that matchup multiple times, and then earlier this week we saw Drummond against the Cavs, and then today we got Drummond against the Nets. You just feel like third time might be, or fourth time may not be the charm, right? What up, Gucci Valentino? That Graham news fiasco was wild. It absolutely was wild. But I'll tell you what it did do. Once I saw that he was sick enough that maybe he wouldn't play, I just backed off. But being able to make those decisions, unlike a Dwayne Bacon or somebody like that, with such a small amount of time, really, really is annoying, right? That type of stuff is like, that was so unnecessary. So unnecessary. What up, Sean? What up, Eric B? Yesterday was truly a landmine day. Hey, it'd be like that. What up, Paul? Trae Young bust. Yeah, Trae Young's another example. He had 70 against the Raptors last time. Now, I think we can all agree that Luka busting against the Suns is a little bit more surprising than Trae Young busting against the full-strength Toronto Raptors in Toronto, right? I think, can we all agree with that? Yeah, okay. Joss, I never said it's all about the year. What up, Stu? Big League Stu. Oh, Julius Randle. Yo, I got to take an L on that one, bro. I was big on Julius Randle. Was not great. I mean, when he got over 30, that's a start, but it definitely had aspirations and dreams for 40 plus. Mr. Portugal, any word on Harden playing today? I did not get an update, but I will in just a second sweep through all of the Q's and O's and P's of this slate, and then as we matriculate forward and start talking about some of tonight's games, we can hopefully get some more news to come out. Didn't Graham have a decent night? No, Graham did not. Terry Rozier had a good night, though. Need to win some weekend vacation money. Yes, sir. Shadow Dog. Yo, Shadow, that's you on Twitter, right? Asking about the Super Bowl squares. Everyone watching will probably do $5 a pop, 100 squares. So I guess if you're on Twitter, twitter.com/Gundacker Sports, man. And we'll have those set up hopefully throughout the weekend. Now, I will heed you guys. Sunday afternoon, I may not be around my computer, but you guys know we'll pay out, or I'll pay out when I get home. So we'll see. But the game's not till like 5-6 anyway, so I'll probably be all right. What up, Joe Armstrong? How you doing? I went in on Monk and had to go back before lock and get Monk out. Avoided most landmines. Yeah, it was pretty wild, bro. It was pretty wild. Anyway, let's go to Fantasy Labs Twitter and kind of get caught up on some of the news of the day. For some reason, my machine here is going a little bit slower. I didn't get a chance to restart it. But the key news of the day: James Harden questionable, Clint Capella questionable. We're all aware that they both missed the last game against Utah. Russell Westbrook also missed that game. However, that was maintenance, scheduled rest, so Westbrook is not questionable. Malcolm Brogdon is questionable. Miles Turner is questionable. Andre the Giant Drummond is questionable. Sekou Doumbouya, Zach LaVine probable. Tomas Satoransky, Luke Cornett probable. So those are the big ones And then, did they come out with word on Victor Oladipo? I saw that he might suit up today on a minute restriction, so keep an eye on that. So we'll leave the Fantasy Labs tab open. We'll close that out. I'll remind you guys before we dive headfirst into the game using the RunDFS.com NBA VIP spreadsheet that the All-Star to All-Star Break Pass is live at RunDFS.com. If you guys want to lock in from now, essentially, you'll get a couple weeks baked in for free. But essentially, the idea of this promotion is the NBA All-Star Break to the MLB All-Star Break, covering all things VIP. I personally spearhead the NBA operations, the NFL, and the MLB. The baseball operations are huge, but my buddy Smeezy, the crew chief, will be leading the charge to the NASCAR return. That is in just a couple weeks, Daytona 500. And we're gonna try. I don't want to advertise it, and if it falls through, it falls through. But we're gonna try to do some XFL. But I don't want to, like I said, I want to asterisk on that one because if the XFL contests come out flat after 2 weeks or so, and they're not worth playing, I'm just not going to waste my time. But we're going to have some fun. Of course, you guys know you get a subscription. That's going to get you access to all the RunDFS.com VIP spreadsheets, and it's going to unlock the 24/7 Discord channel, premium Discord. You guys can get in there. We have channels for stuff that I don't even cover: soccer, tennis, UFC. Those guys are grinding that daily, weekly. But I don't get up that early in the morning to play soccer. And then, of course, every day before lock, we have a 2-hour pre-lock voice chat. You guys can jump in that. And I will be in that voice chat at the top of the hour. So we're going to try to expedite today's stream. We have 6 games to chop up, but we'll get it going. I'm going to jump in the stream channel. We're going to drag Raj in here. Raj, by the way, did not show up for the stream yesterday, so we'll just add that to the list of many shows he missed, and we'll point and laugh at him as we drag him in here. Yo. It's Raj.
We back in the building.
That's my Raj impression, by the way. Yo.
Close, but not quite there. Give it a few months of practice, maybe you'll get there. But I couldn't make it yesterday. The old work life got in the way, but did throw a lineup last minute just because of the Giannis news, and basically just played all 4 of the Milwaukee guys and put in Kemba Walker and D'Angelo Russell and a cheap guy and Cash, but Kemba kind of let me down. And how did they score 150 points and Brook Lopez and Ersan not just destroy?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. There's only like 2 elite tournament plays, and then if you played DiVincenzo, you were cool.
That was weird. And how did someone get to Larry Nance? Good for you.
Whoa. Nance has been crushing it. What are you talking about?
And then I checked his box, so I'm like, oh, okay, he's been crushing it, but still, with them fully healthy, at the same price as a Tristan Thompson.
No. That wasn't crazy. You know what was crazy? If you got to Raul Neto of the 76ers, that dude had 30 in the first half, bro. He never really did anything else, but I don't know if he was, but I'm just saying, I looked up, and people sitting around with their thumbs diddling on Dante Exum, and meanwhile, Raul Neto had 19 real points. Okay, buddy.
Okay, that was crazy. Damn, great slate of games, and then I don't know if you saw the TNT special on Kobe. Oh man.
Yeah. Let's not sober down. We got just less than 50 minutes to try and get through 6 games. So, one last peek at the chat before we jump into game numero uno. Sean says Depot and a minute restriction. Hunterson's voted up. Yo, I appreciate that. If you guys are watching on the YouTube on the YouTube channel, please hit that thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. The YouTube numbers are killing our Twitch numbers ever since we went, co-streaming on YouTube, but that's okay. But remember, if you guys are on Twitch and you have Amazon Prime, you can support the stream. Even if you're watching on YouTube, just head over to Twitch, support the stream free, no extra cost to you if you have Amazon Prime. And then, of course, remember, you could be watching the stream if you're on desktop, gundacker.live. That is kind of a watch page, a splash page, and not only can you see the stream and the chat, but you can get access to the merchandise. The merch is really, really, really cool. We've got the Gundacker Polar Bear shirt and hoodies. We got the Run DFS hoodies. I think the Astro shirts are offline because it was just a 2-week deal. But the coffee cups, the heat activated coffee cups, bro. That's some 2020 stuff, bro. I'm drinking coffee in 3020, bro. Y'all drinking coffee in 2020. This
Even drink
cup,
coffee.
this cup. I mean, I do drink coffee, but I still got this bang though. I got a bang right here by my Blue Yeti.
And Gatorade Zero on deck.
Yeah,
Love
okay.
that stuff.
Okay. Did you get your nails done this morning too?
Gatorade Zero is much better than the Bang. Get all the way
buddy.
hell out of here.
No, you sure you can fit the stream in for your mani pedi, buddy? I don't know.
Yeah, buddy.
Okay.
But you gotta keep your nails on deck.
How's them veggie burgers? Okay.
No, it's the grass-fed beef life right now.
Yeah, no one. Okay, all right. Hey, game number 1 tonight. Let's start talking basketball. What do you guys say? Chicago Bulls at the Indiana Pacers. Your projected starting 5 for the Bulls: Tomas Satoransky, Zach LaVine, Chris Dunn, Thaddeus Young, Luke Cornett taking on Malcolm Brogdon, Jeremy Lamb, T.J. Warren, Domantas Sabonis, Miles Turner. Now I don't know if the Pacers plan to bring Depot off the bench or what. I just grabbed this as a atypical Pacers starting lineup, so be advised that it could look a little different. But nonetheless, we have a 213 total, and the home team Indiana Pacers favorited by 9.5 fantasy points. Yo, Josh with the $10 in the YouTube chat says, thanks for the awesome content. Is this news about Bobby Portis going to the G League true? Oh, wow. Basketball Monster has on the Westchester Knicks roster. I mean, that's crazy if it is.
I get it. Like, he's good.
I don't assume they would make that up though, so I guess so. I felt in the offseason when the Knicks decided to sign 800 centers that there wasn't going to be a room for everyone. So if you just want to, you want to keep them that car on the road, you might as well drive some laps in the G League. Sure, why not? Anyway, let's pull up the Chicago Bulls. Injury news and notes. We know that Boylan is a jerkbag and he likes to put everyone down. So I'm going to start from the top in the interest of transparency. Ryan Archie Diacono. Oh, Archie. He has right elbow soreness, but he's probable. Tomas Satoransky, I believe, is probable. I accidentally just opened up his profile page. I like Satoransky, but I don't like you that much right now, buddy. Tomas Satoransky's listed as probable with a left ankle. Denzel Valentine's listed as probable with a right hip. Zachary Levine is listed as probable. Speaking of Levine, I think he's going to be in the dunk contest. I don't know, but I also think I saw that Aaron Gordon was going to be in it and Dwight was already in it. So if those three are true, you have to fact check me on Levine. I know Levine said that he would be in it if he got voted to the All-Star team. I don't know if that was a bluff or whatever. But I think I saw yesterday Aaron Gordon was going to be it. Yo, if Levine and Dwight Howard and Aaron Gordon are in the dunk contest, I'm turning off every cell phone, every outside device, and I'm just chilling, bro. I'm going to be watching that dunk contest. It's going to be old school. It'll be awesome. Chandler Hutchison listed as probable with a right shoulder. Guys, I'm not making this up. This entire Bulls, Boylan literally does not play with this injury report. Thad Young is going to be in. He's listed as a potential trade. Laurie Markin has said the discomfort in his hip surfaced just a couple games ago. He's out. And then Luke Cornett, right ankle probable. Daniel Gafford, Wendell Carter Jr. also out. So, short staff Chicago Bulls team, but should be a typical lineup from what we saw the last couple games. Chicago Bulls are one of the best matchups in the league for opposing bigs. They give up on this slate the most fantasy points per game to opposing power forwards, and the most fantasy points per game, the second most, to opposing centers. So, plus matchup here for Domantas Sabonis and Miles Turner. Sabonis on DraftKings, 9,400. You got to go all the way up there and get him in a near double-digit spread, low total game. I get it. But on FanDuel, I'm okay with getting that $8,500 on a 40 bomb. I don't mind that at all. And I also think Miles Turner is worth a couple of shots, depending on how many lineups you're running and if you're willing to diversify your portfolio. Yeah, him and Brogdon are listed as questionable. I'll get the update on that.
I mean, if
I don't know
Turner's
how serious it is.
Sabonis tier 1.
At 9K, you think so? He's got an
illness.
9K. It's gonna be an illness game time call, so I don't know. That's probably closer to in. Malcolm Brogdon though, concussion, game time decision as well. Yeah.
At 9K, I might tier 1 Sabonis. I mean, triple double spot. Oladipo, I don't expect to play more than 15 tops. Coming off of a big injury, obviously going to take things real slow.
Yeah, they said he was going to be on a pretty steady limit until after the All-Star break.
I mean, Sabonis, again, if those two guys are out, a guy like TJ Warren, I think, comes strongly into play. But
No, I
Sabonis,
mean,
especially,
strongly into play it. I don't know, man. You think come on? First of
I don't
all,
know. I mean, if there's no Brogdon and if there's no Turner, someone's got to do the scoring here.
all right. Well, I think we're being extremely speculatory on Turner, but we have seen the scenario before. Goga Batadze could start in his place. I think that's what they did over the weekend, by the way.
See, I played Goga and he played 5 minutes and gave me a dud.
Or Jakar Sampson randomly started too, right?
Jakar, I
Yeah,
thought
he
they
got
went-
7.
oh.
Yeah.
Okay,
Samson
okay.
got 17 minutes. I mean, I'm probably not going to dabble too much with the uncertainty of Ogoga Patadze or Jakar Sampson. I would definitely co-sign Sabonis all day long, all day strong. I think Sabonis is playable no matter what. I don't need Miles Turner to be out to be interested in Sabonis in this matchup. Probably the main thing I'm concerned about is the potential blowout. Like I said, it's already a kind of a near double-digit spread. It's a low total anyway, so I don't want to get oversaturated with exposure to this ball game. Let's see what the live chat has on this game. Remember, we got to go a little bit faster today, just a little bit. KJ Smash says, man, let me have that many no-call, no-show days and still have a job not happening. Oh, it's talking about Raj. Ernesto says, what up, Raj? You slacked off yesterday. He be doing that. Yo, this quote-unquote real job? Come on, man. I need you.
Yeah, I have real job with real, real money.
You got a real job because you're real bad at playing DFS. That's why.
It's true. I was better at DFS, but I mean, yeah, I don't think I'm good enough at DFS to make the amount of money I need to tell you the truth. So.
Yeah, Gucci says Raj sits down when he pees. Oh, thoughts. Ernesto says I see Depot projected off the bench. Depot off bench with minutes limits. All right. Eric B says Sabonis may be the only lock from the Pacers side. Guards are pretty washed with Depot back. Kind of agree with that. Ernesto says I like Chris Dunn. Maybe some Kobe White value. So I've definitely been on the Chris Dunn train. He's been just a solid 30 fantasy points on both sites. On FanDuel, I believe he's point guard only. Well, of course, only, but you know what I mean. He's point guard on FanDuel, but just about every slate, he's just gonna stuff the stat sheet. A little bit of everything, right? Not a lot of bit of one thing, a little bit of a lot of things. Right? 35 fantasy points, 10 real points, 3 games straight. He's gonna get some steals, and he's gonna get a couple peripherals. So I like him as a stocking stuffer type play. Price not really moving. Like I said, Indiana's a stout defense, so it's not something I want to get oversaturated with. But I can definitely take advantage of it. The Indiana Pacers weakness, by the way, also has been points in the paint and the center spot. But I really can't see myself getting too wild on exposure to like a Thad Young or Luke Cornett. It is a Thad Young quote-unquote revenge game, right? He spent some time for the Pacers. So if you want to play that, go right ahead. Let's go ahead and move on to the next game. Brooklyn Nets hosting the Detroit Pistons. This game looks a lot more fantasy viable than the preceding game. Your project starting 5 for the Pistons: Derrick Rose, Svi Mykhailiuk, Tony Snell, Sekou Doumbouya, and Andre the Giant Drummond taking on Kyrie Irving, Garrett Temple, Joe Harris, Taron Prince, and Jared Allen. Both teams could have different starting lineups, but this is purely aesthetic and cosmetic. Man, I am on a roll today. We're just, we've seen Reggie Jackson back in the mix for the Detroit Pistons last couple games. Maybe keeping an eye on him, see if his minutes extend. Unlike, historical Reggie Jackson, we've actually seen some crazy efficiency coming out of him. A point per minute or greater in his 3 games back. Maybe he's playing with a little bit of inspiration, but double-digit shot attempts. So he does have a high usage rate for the minutes that he's on the court, and the fact that he has incrementally played more minutes each time that he has played is a good sign. Now, Reggie Jackson, as the starting point guard, was never really playing over 28, 30 minutes a game, but that might have been more of a Stan Van Gundy thing than what they got going on now. So we'll just keep an eye on that, but I do think he's cheap enough to kind of keep in your player pool for mass entry tournaments. Sekou Doumbouya, Andre Drummond, both listed with Q tags. Let's go ahead and pull up the reports on these two. We'll start with Doumbouya. Doumbouya, my lord. He's got a left ankle sprain. He is probable. And Andre Drummond is dealing with a left wrist sprain. He's questionable. Drummond has been uncharacteristically, wow. Why did I struggle with that one? Missing random games this season with minor injuries. So it wouldn't be shocking to see him skip this game, but we'll have a better better idea where he's at following shooting around. So let's talk about Andre Drummond. Drummond had a massive history against the Cleveland Cavaliers, and then he was massive. I want to say massive chalk. He's about 30-40% owned, sometimes 50% owned in that Cleveland game. He played 32 minutes, was over a point per minute. They ended up losing by 15. Here he is against the Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets has been a perennial top matchup for opposing centers. It is the number one matchup in basketball this season for fantasy points to opposing centers. And in 2 games against the Brooklyn Nets, he's averaging 64 DKP. If you guys went all in on Drummond and Cat the other night, you understand the heart wants what the heart wants, but the heart is broken. So the doubt on Drummond is there, the skepticism is there, and the fact that he's questionable doesn't really kind of help. But nonetheless, it is a nut matchup, and at the end of the day, we do kind of have to respect and play the numbers. So I'd play some Drummond. Should he be a full go? Off the bench here, mentioned Reggie Jackson, but Markieff Morris is pretty cheap on both sides. I don't mind taking a stab at him. If Drummond was unable to go, you'd probably see extremely elevated ownership on Christian Wood, though we have seen Thon Maker slide into the starting lineup in this scenario. On the net side, we saw them shake up their lineup. We saw Spencer Dinwiddie play off the bench, Kyrie kind of leading this front unit, and then Dinwiddie and Karis LeVert on the second unit. We've also seen a couple games here now where DeAndre Jordan was out. Looks like DeAndre's back in the mix here. So you might even see a spot where DeAndre Jordan just sizes up with Drummond a little bit more, and they try and contain him that way. But Kyrie Irving, big time spot, big time play, right? 9,300, 9,100 on both sides. You need that 50+ fantasy point game. Does have a lingering Q tag on him, but he is expected to play. He didn't play on Sunday for obvious reasons, but
you don't want to hear it. But if there's any
stop.
We're
not doing that. 40 minutes against Detroit last game. He dropped 65 DKP, 45 real points. He's been really, really consistent. He does own a high usage rate here with the Brooklyn Nets, so he definitely profiles well. For me, all things considered, I think he's got even extra fresh legs. So I like Kyrie a lot in 9,100. I do need that 50+ fantasy point game. Off the bench, Karis LeVert's pretty cheap on both sides. I'm looking for 25-30 at that price. And Dinwiddie's reached the 7.5K price range. I need 40+ at that. And I don't say it has reached because we have paid 8K+ for him.
Can't pay that price with Kyrie in.
It's hard. Yeah, I can't. I don't think I can do it. So, but I think if I'm taking notes here, Jared Allen had a big game against Drummond the other day. But remember, that came at the absence of DeAndre Jordan, and he was able to play 40 minutes. With Jordan in the mix, Jared Allen's been more of a 25 to 31 minute guy, and I still think at 31 minutes against Drummond, I think he's sneaky at 6,100 because he could be a 6x type of guy. But obviously, you feel a little bit capped and you feel a little less warm and fuzzy about it. So that's what I got here at the expense of I don't know. Go ahead, Raj.
Kyrie should be a big night for him. Give me him at 9,100. All the Kyrie. Give me Andre Drummond. These kind of other pieces. Do I want to play a guy like Karis LeVert, 4,500? He's cheap. Been playing him. He just hasn't really smashed at that price yet. Got to 32 against Philly is what you want, but by past 2 games, 16, 15. Could he get you the 30 against Detroit? Maybe. Last time he got you 15. Again, not what you want, but if you want a bit of value, don't hate taking a shot at him. Other than that, even in Detroit, I'm not going to get to a lot of D-Rose at 7.6. Waiting on the Houston news, waiting on some of this Indiana news. Again, at that price tag, he can get you 40, 45. Got you 45 last night against Brooklyn. But again, I just feel like the ceiling is just – it's a little limited at that price.
Yeah. Agree with that. All right, so if Drummond's in, I'm still going to take the shot on Drummond here. The matchup says I need to be aggressive with Drummond ownership on this slate, especially if a guy like Clint Capella doesn't play.
Sabonis 1v1.
Drummond or Sabonis? Well, I would say Sabonis for Drummond for ceiling, and it's like way ceiling. But I would probably try and have them both. It's not a 1v1 on any site. Yeah. Sabonis is a power forward on FanDuel, and Drummond's a center, and the same stands on DraftKings. So I'd probably, I love stacking big, so I'd probably have a whole lot of that. And then of course Kyrie. Kyrie's going to start as probably a high tier 2, and he might have potential to be promoted to a tier 1.
Depends on the Harden news, obviously, because then Westbrook will become like a tier 1.
Yeah. Let's see what you guys got in the live chat before we matriculate on to the next one. I like Krista. Maybe okay, I see that. Eric B, what up, Eric? Says R. Jackson Rose with a sprinkle of brown for the Pistons. Dinwiddie may crush the slate with his jersey tribute. But you can't predict it every time we're playing heavy heart. Exactly. That's why I don't want to steer this show into any of that narrative speculation. In my opinion, everyone in the league right now is playing with a heavy heart. So it's just really kind of dirty to put that on some people and not on others. So I don't want to take part of that. I'm just going to play the numbers. Gun Lamb too high money on DraftKings? Probably. I would say probably not, but it's also probably because Victor Oladipo is back. So I don't know if I get there, and I don't love guards against the Bulls anyway. Let's move on to the next game here. Memphis Grizzlies at the New York Knicks. Your project starting five for the Memphis Grizzlies: Ja Morant, Dylan Brooks, Jay Crowder, Jaren Jackson Jr., Jonas Valanciunas taking on Elfrid Payton, Reggie Bullock, Marcus Morris, Julius Randle, Taj Gibson. Both teams on night two of a back-to-back. We got a 2-2-2 and another 1-2 as our total. And a spread 2.5 in favor of the visiting Memphis Grizzlies. Ja Morant in the Garden. I really don't have a lot of interest in the Grizzlies here. I think we have seen kind of a trend. Oh man, Bang got me. A trend of maybe Jonas Valanciunas having to deliver a little extra when they're going against meaty opponents that have bigs, like last night, Jonas Valanciunas against Jokic. That was a point that I talked in the VIP with Young C. Young C was all over this play. What I'm worried about here is the back-to-back with some travel. But at 6,400, there's definitely still meat on the bone for Jonas Valanciunas. If you want to kind of keep with that theme that, they're going to stay big against a big front court. Julius Randle, Taj Gibson, I guess not Bobby Portis, but maybe Mitchell Robinson. Let me get to the bottom of this Bobby Portis stuff, because if Bobby Portis was demoted to the G League, first of all, did he even play last night? Step one. Last night, 18 minutes. I don't see nothing here that he was demoted. You think that would be here? Let me see if I tell you what, let's go to Twitter. Twitter's the end-all, be-all. Bobby Portis G League. Latest. There's a couple tweets about Bobby Portis being to the G League. So, if he went to the G League, and so far I haven't seen a verified account, but I see enough accounts talking about him going to the G League. If he did get sent down, think about this. 18, 19 minutes. That could all go directly to Mitchell Robinson, who has shown a propensity to be a point-per-minute monster. So he got 26 minutes last night. Obviously, it was a little over a point per minute. Could that 26 be closer to 30, or we just get 28? I think that's still a spot for 30-plus fantasy points. So I might be a little bit intrigued at that. I would probably have to do a little bit more off-air investigation on what's actually happening with him, because I don't know for sure what's going on, but that's an interesting notation. Let me double check on Roto-World on Bobby Portis. Pull up his player account. Says Bobby Portis scored 5 points. Are you guys sure? I don't think they would have just sent him down last night.
It seems to be weird. He's not a bad player. They do have some bodies at the center power forward position. Even if he gets sent down, you gonna run to play? I know. Ed was there earlier in the chat, and he mentioned Mitchell Robinson. There'd be a few extra minutes against Memphis. Not gonna play a Taj Gibson. Randall at 8-3. High price tag with Marcus Morris kind of back there, taking some of the scoring load off him, not wanting to play that.
I'm just trying to verify. If somebody can give me a link in chat, just give me a link that says he was sent down or not. I know the report was something Basketball Monster listed, and I respect them enough to even bring it up. Anyway, matchup-wise, though, Elfrid Payton's very interesting to me. 6K on both sides. I think I can get to 30 fantasy points. I think this pace can push me to a little bit more. We know the Memphis Grizzlies are going to be a top 5 pace in the league. We're getting about 30-plus minutes here of Elfrid Payton. As long as R.J. Barrett's going to be out, he can be close to a point per minute, and he is a triple-double threat. Last night came 4 peripherals away from a triple-double against the Charlotte Hornets, so I do like him. I do like to turn up the pace a little bit. If you look at the last 10 games for the New York Knicks, they really hadn't had any high-paced games, sans the Milwaukee and New Orleans games, and you got a full range of outcomes there. Milwaukee, 19 minutes of a blowout, just 13 fantasy points, but New Orleans, a little bit more of a lackluster defense. You got 33 minutes and dropped 41 fantasy points, so that's the type of upside I do believe that Elfrid Payton could bring us today, so I will have some Elfrid Payton, probably start him as a tier 3 and move on from there, and I don't mind ever going back to the well on Julius Randle here. Jaren Jackson Jr. can be a little bit hacky, so if Randle can get to the line, maybe 10 times on top of a normal game, I don't mind going back to the well. Normally, I don't go crazy targeting Knicks here, so the only Knicks I ever really do play in this lineup would be Payton, Marcus Morris, and Julius Randle, and that's probably where I'll stand today. On the Memphis side, I got nothing. Jonas Valanciunas is the most intriguing. I'm very worried about back-to-back. Jaren Jackson, 6,400. I mean, that's a price point he could crush. Worried about foul trouble against a high motor guy like Julius Randle, and then Brandon Clark's kind of cheap on both sides. But I don't really have a high level of infatuation with the Memphis Grizzlies here, so I probably don't play him. I do think Jay Crowder's kind of cheap on both sides, that he could be a solid stocking stuffer. But just give me a couple Knicks here, and I think the bulk of my
being triple double.
Yeah, I just said that. Appreciate you listening.
I know. Yeah, I'm just saying. I mean, how much you gonna have him?
He'd be a tier 3. I said that as well. Appreciate you listening.
Looking more for a percentage.
Huh?
I was looking more for a percentage, a 20%er.
Well, tier 3, tier 3 is usually capped at about 30%, and then wiggle that. There's still a door for him to be a tier 2 at that price, but I said I start him as a tier 3. Let's see what the live chat has. Young C, J Val to go here. Josh Stanley says Mitch could be a solid pit off of Chalk Pirtle. I'm gonna be a big investor in the Jakob Pirtles tonight. Eric B says if Triple J can stay out of foul trouble, we can see another 40-piece extra crispy. Yum! Oh, you're making me hungry. He's young and back-to-backs are non-existent to him fatigue-wise. Yeah, sure. Xandru, Vlad. Yo, your name, bro. What's happening there? Are you Chinese? Are you Russian? Are you American? What is that? The plug fronted me an ounce to sell, and I lost it on DFS, so I have to win today. All right, man. Well, good luck with that. Don't die. Don't you go dying on me. Ernesto says, I think Bobby Portis could be sneaky. I think as long as somebody can confirm or deny that he's in the big leagues. I've seen conflicting reports since I've been live, but I see respected sources saying that he's in the big league, and then the only report that I got here is you guys secondhand reporting to me that Basketball Monster had him listed in the G League. Steiger says it's the third game in 4 nights for Memphis, so yeah, that could catch up to him. KJ Smash says we need a bang. That Gatorade ain't helping his attention at all. I agree. Bang.
Way better.
Exclamation point bang in the chat. Bangs are $2, Raj. Go drop $2 on this black cherry vanilla bang.
They're 100% like $4 here in Canada. No doubt about it.
Yeah, but that's like $1 American, so get a better job.
Oh, I mean, yeah, but
you're hilarious. I didn't mean yo, Xandru, I'm just joking, bro. Don't take that. I was just joking with you, buddy. Love you. Let's move on to the next game here, right? Utah Jazz at the San Antonio Spurs. The projected starting 5 for the Jazz: Donovan Mitchell, Joe Ingles, Royce O'Neal, Bojan Bogdanovic, Rudy Gobert, taking on Dejounte Murray, Brent Forbes, DeMar DeRozan, Trey Lyles, Jakob Poeltl. We got a 221 total. 5 point spread in favor of the visiting Utah Jazz. Jazz, by the way, at home, just lost to the Houston Rockets that did not have Russell Westbrook, James Harden, or Clint Capella. They lost. They let Eric Gordon drop 50 points. And I know logistically you're saying, well, if Eric Gordon can drop 50 points, what DeMar DeRozan without LaMarcus Aldridge going to do? Well, I can't disagree with that. He's AK essentially on both sides. He's been really, really consistent with and without LaMarcus Aldridge lately. But last game, Aldridge missed. DeRozan against the Bulls, tough matchup, had 53 fantasy points, 11 for 21 shooting. And he's been shooting right at that 50+% percentile, and he's getting through the free throw line, and that's a big plus. That's what really put him over the top against the Bulls. They're getting 17 free throw attempts, but we've seen several games where he's getting double-digit free throw attempts. 11 against Phoenix, 14 against Toronto, 14 against Memphis, so that's a good part of his game. And then most impressively to me, he's adding peripherals. He was always kind of coined as a scoring-dependent kind of guy. And that hasn't been the case lately. So I could definitely co-sign some DeRozan here at home without LaMarcus Aldridge. Jakob Poeltl, 5,600 on DraftKings, 4,400 on FanDuel. I don't think 5,600 on DraftKings is going to make him egregious chalk. I still think people don't turn away because I'm not too scared of the Utah Jazz. You don't think you could play Jakob Poeltl at 5K?
5,600?
Why not?
He had a dream matchup last time, put up 40. I mean, I think he can put up 23, 25.
I don't think.
And if he's chalk,
I don't think you know who Jakob Poeltl is, sir.
I know Rudy Gobert's been giving it up to some bigs. He's giving it up to Jakob Poeltl.
He just gave it up to PJ Tucker. Okay, buddy.
What do you mean he gave it up to PJ Tucker? PJ Tucker had like 9 points and 10 rebounds. It's not giving it up.
Are you letting PJ Tucker, 6'0" PJ Tucker, who does
He'll
nothing.
play center for 32 minutes. You might as well get 10. He falls into
Jakob
10 rebounds.
Poeltl had 36 minutes against Chicago Bulls. Yes, it is a super plus matchup, but the Utah Jazz have not been something that I run and shy away from. Jakob Poeltl is the type of big I do like to target against a guy like Rudy Gobert. So I'm not scared of Jakob Poeltl. 5'6" is not scary. Like I do think maybe I'm not expecting 40-50, but Jakob Poeltl with 30 minutes has always been a monster. You should know that, Mr. Canada. Jakob Poeltl DKP by game log with let's put 28 minutes. I'm gonna put last 100 games to get a little bit of sample size. 40 and 43 in his last two games with 28 minutes against Chicago and Houston in the 20s, and then another 37. The 20s came all of them against Denver, ironically, and then at Dallas. So I think you're sleeping on his upside. I agree. What I was saying, I was making a point, and you cut me off. I think on DraftKings we won't see like egregious chalk ownership. I still think he's gonna get ownership. But on FanDuel at 4,400, that's a very, very nice price, and the risk reward is a little bit lower. He is a center only, though, so you do have to give up that position if you're interested in playing with him. This is the same conundrum that I was in a couple nights ago when there was Drummond, Cat, and Jakob Poeltl, and Poeltl was breaking my value projection, but I was like, is he going to give me the raw points that I need? He literally outscored both Cat and Drummond, so it is what it is. With that said, I think another center in this very game, Rudy Gobert is in play. But outside of that, the center position is a pretty shallow position today. So unless you're just loading up on Drummond, if he does play, it's Drummond, Gobert, Whiteside. Then you got a questionable Capella in a West Coast late game. You got JaVale at a back-to-back. You got a questionable Turner. It's just a very shallow pool of Q tags here. So I think on FanDuel, I don't mind just going to take that value there. And if you got me 25 FanDuel points, hey, let's ride with it. Also on the Jazz here, Donovan Mitchell probably is in no man's land for me, although he did have a solid game his last outing as they got beat by the Rockets without... okay, I'm going to give it up. But he had 36 real points there. He's had 23 or more real points in 4 games straight. So a lot of real point floor here. But unlike DeRozan, he's not really getting to the line much. And he's not really putting a lot of peripherals to add to his real points here. So at 8K, I could definitely see him just falling by the wayside to some other guards either in the 9Ks or even cheaper than that. So I don't really see a whole lot of interest in him. Joe Ingles at 5K. Why can't I quit you? I just think he is a day-to-day potential to get me near 30 fantasy points. And then Bojan Bogdanovic is probably a guy I can use as a stocking stuffer on both sides. Mike Conley, I wrote him down for a soft 25 minutes. His last couple games, he got 25 minutes against Houston, 17 fantasy points. He's 3,800. One of these days, 25 minutes at 3,800 for Mike Conley. It's going to be a little bit better than this. But stop me if you heard that one before. We've said it earlier in this season when he was playing 30 minutes and he was 5K. We're like, oh, that's too cheap for Conley. So I think if I was getting to 50 to 100 lineups, at 3,800 if my projections stayed at 25 minutes for Mike Conley against the San Antonio Spurs. The Spurs on this slate are allowing the third most fantasy points per game to opposing point guards. I probably would have a little dab of Mike Conley as a value play in my back pocket there. Any other weird names you got from this game?
Weird names? No, I think it's just San Antonio. I love DeMar DeRozan. A guy you definitely want to target today. Definitely a core piece. Staying away from the point guards, too many bodies. Poto, I mean, again, I want a full fade. At 5,600, maybe I'll wait for his ownership to come out and see what happens. If he's like 40%, definitely full fading. If he's in the 20s, maybe have a little bit. But other than that, I might just fade the whole Utah side. I mean, that Conley price is ridiculously low for Mike Conley. Then you kind of see what he's been doing. Hasn't cracked 20 fantasy points in seven games, 6 games. So, I mean, maybe he's still working his way back from injury. Maybe he's just not that good in this team right now. So, we'll have to see about that. But other than that, I'm not playing any Mitchell or Rudy Gobert 8-7. Not going to get to him either.
I think Gobert is probably the most slept-on center slate to slate. And he just crushes. Houston not so much, but 55, 55, 40, 57, 47, 50. Like, he just crushes every game. And people don't play him.
It's just the other centers on the slate. If Capella sits, Whiteside should smash. Again, we talked about Sabonis. We're talking about Drummond. Talked about Poto. At some point, I got to cut off a center.
So you're not going to have Capella news by lock, more than likely, right?
That's true. That is true.
I'm just saying, like, Rudy Gobert is just super. I'm not saying play. I'm just saying he's very disrespectful.
Consistent. Yeah, he's consistent. Last game was a bit of a down game.
Yeah, but it was down game for the whole squad. But I think the last couple games we can kind of take away from a couple teams. All right, let's move on to the next game. Portland Trailblazers hosting the Houston Rockets. Project starting 5 for the Rockets: Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Ben McLemore, PJ Tucker, Clint Capella. Taking out Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum, Trevor Ariza, Carmelo Anthony, Hassan Whiteside. 238.5 total. That is a lot. 2.5 point spread in favor of the home team, Houston Rockets. A little bit of history here, Damian Lillard and Russell Westbrook. So it's fun, though. It's a fun history. But the Houston Rockets bring us 2 massive Q tags for this slate, and James Harden and Clint Capella. James Harden is listed as questionable with a thigh. He has missed the past 2 games for Houston, but we should get another update within the day after shoot around. And then Clint Capella, right heel contusion. That means bruise. Is questionable to play on Wednesday with that right heel bruise. He's been dealing with the bum heel since Christmas, and this is likely an issue that would nag him for the rest of the season. Rockets could use him for a matchup against Hassan Whiteside, so that could give him some extra incentive to play. So everyone's had a couple days off. James Harden has never been a guy to miss a lot of games consecutively. So I kind of feel good about his chances, and then Capella as well. So if they did not play, however, against the Utah Jazz, we saw a very, very unexpected weird lineup, right? Like, we all expected Isaiah Hartenstein to start and play minutes, and that did not happen. They went with like a 5-guard set. It was nuts. But I don't know that that's what Mike D'Antoni would double down on here. We'll see. Who's in play, who's not in play? Well, CJ McCollum is somebody that is expected to be back here. Before today, it had been the Damian Lillard show, and he had just been just absolutely going bananas in the last, 4 or 5 games, 50 real points, 47, 61. It's nuts. With CJ back, maybe some of that scoring responsibility subsides a little bit, but it is a little bit... What's the word I'm looking for? A little bit weird. We'll leave it at that. That the man just dropped 84 fantasy points and his price goes up $100 in a near 240 total at home against the Rockets. So, like, even if CJ's in, it doesn't make Lillard completely off limits, and it doesn't mean Lillard can't drop 50 fantasy points. It's just kind of weird for his price to not really react to a couple game stretch of that. On FanDuel, he's almost 10K. We mentioned the 1v1 between Lillard and Kyrie Irving. I think, recency bias might push us toward Lillard. I like them both. I'll probably try and, have dueling ownership levels of both of them. CJ McCollum, every time I put him in the spreadsheet, I don't know why. If you guys deal with spreadsheets, CJ McCollum is for most stat sheets listed as C.J. And then pricing CSVs for these sites just have CJ, and then you got to put the dots in there. And there's a couple people like that, not to bore you, but guys like TJ Warren or JJ Redick or stuff like that. Like some sites have the dots, some sites don't, and I gotta replace that every day. Anyway, CJ McCollum hasn't played since January he played 3 days ago. Prior to that, he didn't play since the 17th, 15th. So CJ McCollum at 6,900, I'm looking for near 40 fantasy points. That's definitely something that he's put up in the last 3 games without getting injured, essentially 39 and a quarter, 40, 42. So McCollum is in a great spot here. We love shooting guards against the Houston Rockets. It's been a super fruitful matchup, the number one matchup on this particular slate. So McCollum could just be a super solid play anyway. And then Trevor Ariza, hashtag revenge game. Weird world we live in, but he had a solid game the other night against the Mavericks. He's $200 above min price on FanDuel. He's 5K on DraftKings. You know my thoughts. I don't have to get him on DraftKings, but he might be a stocking stuffer punt play for FanDuel. And then Melo's also in a revenge spot. I think the entire Blazers starting lineup can make my player pool. I do think Trevor Ariza is going to become Trevor Ariza pretty soon, especially in this lineup where it becomes the 4th to 5th option, and I don't have to push the issue with him. We've seen him for years play 35, 40 minutes and put up less than 20 fantasy points. So I'm not going to overreact to the funnel defensive plus matchup of Dallas, but I do think I could justify on FanDuel having him as a value play, risky value play, and just seeing where he falls. So all the Blazers going to crack the player pool. Russell Westbrook, with or without James Harden, has lately been the better fantasy play. All things considered, he's just downright scoring more raw fantasy points. 52, 69, 69, 70. In his games against the Portland Trail Blazers this season, he's averaging almost 70 fantasy points. We know point guards against the Blazers has been a plus matchup all season. On this particular slate, it is the number 2 matchup behind the Brooklyn Nets, so you can easily sell me on having Westbrook with or without Harden. On both sites, he's priced up double digits, 11K on FanDuel. That's about what Luka Doncic was yesterday, to kind of put that in perspective, and 10.4 on DraftKings. But it wasn't but a year or two ago we're paying 13K for this guy, so this shouldn't really surprise many people. And if you guys are like me and you're an internet nerd and you like to listen to post-game press conferences, I played it on the stream the other day. He did say that he's got to ramp up his rebounding, and he's been leaving it up to Clint and BSing about it, but he knows that's one of the strongest points of his games, so he's making it a priority to bring up his rebounding. So keep an eye on that. We'll see how much his rebound numbers kind of elevate going forward. This is a matchup that he could get some errant rebounds. Clint Capella, if he did play, I'd be on him. PJ Tucker's a tough sell. I think if we let DVP tell the story, both PJ Tucker and Carmelo are in good spots. Portland giving up the second most fantasy points per game to opposing power forwards on this slate. Houston the third. But both guys are uncomfortable clicks for me. Melo at 5'9" on both sides. I'm looking for 30 fantasy points to feel like I got a good deal. But I think this game stack makes a lot of sense. It's kind of like yesterday. Yesterday the Bucks and the Wizards were a 240 total. Projected fast-paced game. This game's not too far from that, and it's a much shorter slate. It's a little bit harder to fit these guys in because all of the really juicy guys are really expensive. You can't really game stack it like yesterday's game, but nonetheless, we should probably expect 1 or 2 guys from this game to be needed to win a tournament. And of course, it could be anyone from Harden to Westbrook to Capella, Lillard, McCollum, Whiteside. So, pretty simple thoughts there. Any priorities for you in this one?
I think it just kind of comes down to, how the news breaks down. If Capella sits and you guys play Tucker at the 5 again, Whiteside should feast. You're talking about a 20 rebound spot. So, I think I might have a couple shares of Whiteside at 8.5. Even if Capella plays, you want to play Whiteside. Just see the minutes can get there for you. Obviously, Houston. If we're going to expect James Harden to play. Russell Westbrook got 10-4. Even with Harden. He's been getting it done. 60, 70, 69, 69. Been absolutely killing it. Portland, another game where, he's coming off a 69 against them too when Harden played. So I think I'm still going to have some Westbrook at 10-4. Yeah. Could be my spend up of the night. Yep. So give me some of him. Give me some Whiteside. Again, we probably won't have the news. So if you want to take shots on,
so this is just me.
Tucker or Daniel,
this is just me. But right now, I would build lineups as Harden and Capella are in. I would definitely build lineups as Harden is in. Harden just doesn't miss games.
I hear you. So it's clearly a serious screws if he missed the past, if he missed the past couple of games. Capella, I definitely agree, has more likelihood of sitting just because he does tend to sit more. Mm-hmm. So I mean, would you have any Daniel House? Got the price bump?
No.
So I mean, just Whiteside, some Lillard, obviously in fast-paced matchups. Give me some Lillard. Give me some McCollum at 6'9", some meat on the bone there. The big three for Portland. No Carmelo Anthony for me, and on Houston, give me some Russell Westbrook, whether Harden plays or not.
If we did get a tweet in the next 5 minutes that Harden's out, what do you do with 7,300 Eric Gordon?
I remember we talked about on stream. Like, imagine Eric Gordon drops 50, and that's exactly what he did. He dropped 50 real life points. We're talking about 50 fantasy points. He dropped 50 goddamn real life points at 7-3 against Portland.
It's crazy.
I think I'm gonna have some. Actually, wait, no. Russell Westbrook's back. No, at 7-3 now. No.
Yeah. All right, let's check out the live chat before we matriculate on to the last one. Gifo says Pirtle is a FanDuel lock. Look at them sexy emotes, brah. Peter, what up, Peter? Says the Houston Astros new manager's drumroll, Dusty Baker. Yeah, yikes. Dusty Baker's the guy that if they cheated, he'd just be so oblivious. Like, whatever. Everyone's too cheap on FanDuel. Yep. Hunter says Melton's out. Who gets the bump? Probably see a couple extra minutes for, like, Colin Anderson and maybe Tyus Jones, guys like that. Just guessing on the forefront. What up, CLA? Conley looked good last game, reduced minutes, but his efficiency should be way up now that he's accepted the bench role. Yeah. KJ Smash, Trey Lyles is the play here. Let's be real. Maybe. Gifo says Gobert's ceiling is 55, not 60-70. I disagree with that. I do think it's a little higher than 55, but obviously doesn't get there as often. But I think his floor is higher than people. Like, his floor has been, high 40s, 50s lately. But I don't, I'm not expecting. If I got 50 from Gobert, I'd be ecstatic. Unless Drummond dropped 70, which he could. Ernesto says if Harden sits, Austin Rivers for me. Yikes, I can't do that. Who to play, Russell Westbrook or Damian Lillard? Man, I probably coin flip that, but man, 1v1s I like the cheaper guy, but I love them both. I think Russell Westbrook is extremely viable no matter what, right? Like Lillard, we kind of have to deal with the McCollum factor, and we know with McCollum and Melo and these guys could all kind of like trade usage here, and Lillard doesn't have to get crazy. But considering this matchup and pace, I'm still confident that he'll have 40 plus real points. But they're the same price on DraftKings, right? Heck, Lillard's more expensive than Westbrook. Yeah, I'm going Westbrook then. Westbrook just gives you such a high floor in peripherals. If Lillard has a bad shooting night, you're a little bit behind the gun. What up, Sideways Universe? Ernesto says I may play some Melo and Whiteside. I like Whiteside no matter what. I like Capella if he plays against Whiteside. And then those guys maybe could just have dueling 40s or something like that. CLA says Ariza has played for like 12 teams. Revenge isn't a thing. Sure. Stu says I'm leaning towards playing Lillard more than Westbrook. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I don't think that's one of those, like, it's a non-argument. Like, both guys are completely justifiable. So it's kind of a gut decision, right? What up, Money Jordan? Best guard play for OKC. We're about to chop that game up. It's the last one. Ernesto says I feel in Ariza's a bit of a dart 30 up. It's more only FanDuel. I will have 0% interest in Ariza on DraftKings. CLA says Ariza is just high ceiling, low floor, taking some shots. Y'all. Ariza's more of a minutes guy, and you hope he falls into. He's like Harrison Barnes light. Ariza, Melo, Clarkson, Kyrie, Dinwiddie all go off tonight. All right. Whoa, Raj, easy on the GD. Oh, yeah. CP3 what? As well. I don't know. I guess he dropped the GD. Can we get some likes on the video? Yeah, man. Hit that thumbs up on the video. What the freak? I put an A at the end of that. Yo, chat. I watched the rest of the Ranch last night. I'm sad. Anyway, moving on to the last game. Before we do that, we'll take a pause for the cause. Let you guys know that the All-Star to All-Star Break Pass is live at RunDFS.com. We also have week passes, 2-week pass. All-Star to All-Star Break will get you full VIP coverage until the baseball All-Star Break in July. I got to go real fast here because we do have to get in the RunDFS.com VIP voice chat for the pre-lock voice chat. So if you guys want to come be part of that, just go to RunDFS.com, get yourself a pass, a week pass. So you don't have to commit to the full summer. Go get yourself a week pass, try it out. We love to make friends with you, and we'll also have some fun. I think we'll have Super Bowl squares set up. I don't want to start taking payments on that until like Friday, but we'll have all that set up. If you have any questions about that, hit me up on Twitter, twitter.com/GundeckerSports. Main event tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern. OKC at the Sacramento Kings. The project starting five for the Thunder: Chris Paul, SGA, Luke Wentz, Dort, Danilo Gallinari, Stone Cold, Steven Adams, taking on De'Aaron Fox, Bogdanovich, Harrison Barnes, Nemanja Bjelica, Dwayne Dedmon, a 221 total, 3-point spread, favor OKC. Can I just say that this total seems extremely high in my estimation? The Kings run the slowest pace in the league. The Thunder are bottom 5 in pace, and we're at a 220. Man, NBA is scary, huh? And the defenses are, well, I would say the Thunder defense is better. If we, I don't know, let me before I look like an idiot, let me go to defensive efficiency. Thunder. Maybe the Thunder's defense is a little bit less than I thought it was. About league average. Sacramento Kings has got to be way down there. All right, maybe. So we put their defensive efficiency together. It's still 213 to 14 to 15 maybe. So it's still kind of like a 7 extra points. Even if you add their points per game allowed, it's about 216. So they're coming up with 5-6 extra points for this total. I don't know how they set this total, so I guess they got an idea. Anyway, Chris Paul 7,200, 7,400. Man, think about how little people play Chris Paul tonight, right? I think the high end point guard spot is going to be a priority, whether it be Kyrie, Damian Lillard, Harden, Westbrook. I think this game probably goes a little bit under-owned, which makes it a little bit more compelling for tournaments. Chris Paul missed that last game for personal reasons. You could probably speculate what that might be. SGA 7,300. I'm looking for a north side of 40 fantasy points on that. Dennis Schroeder also 7K. All of the guards from the Thunder 7K. You just feel like it's a very.
Well, one of them will probably go for 50, I think.
In this matchup, okay. Gallinari is almost 7K on DraftKings as well. This is a very high price stack. I like this stack. The last couple of weeks as a stocking stuffer in certain guys. Heck, I've been playing Dennis Schroeder as a much reduced rate. Now he's 7K on DK, 6K on FanDuel. So I'm a little less than thrilled about that. On the Sacramento Kings side, De'Aaron Fox, 8,100. I'm looking for the north side of 40 fantasy points there. He had a cute play the other night where he hit iron on a free throw purposely and then, had the putback. That game against Minnesota went to overtime, so, maybe subtract 4 or 5 minutes from everybody's minute total that game and get 32 minutes of De'Aaron Fox in this matchup. Is that going to breed an upside game for you? I think that's an answer. You have to decide. I'm going to say no. I don't really like the Thunder matchup to be a ceiling spot. And there's not really a name that rises to the forefront for me on either side that I feel like I have to play. And then if we want, made the late night hammer argument, well, the Blazers and the Rockets are at the same time. So I'm probably going to be the lowest on this game out of any game on this 6-game slate. But what say you? You got any specific spins? Maybe Buddy Hield has been kind of balling off the bench here, but other than that, I got nothing specifically.
Yeah, I mean, like we said, we've seen, in the past kind of two maybe good defensive teams, slower-paced teams go at it. Sometimes it could be a 120 to 125 type of game. So I just think with these prices, there's meat on the bone. Like a Chris Paul goes for, 45 to 50. SGA goes for 45 to 50. No one would be shocked. And they're going to go on their own. If I can get a 50 from a 7.5K guy versus, let's just say, Lillard goes for 50 or Kyrie goes for 50. You're saving a couple bucks and you can upgrade somewhere else. So I'm going to have some Chris Paul. I'm going to have for SGA. I mean, the guy shot 5 for 20 last game and still got you 39 fantasy points. You throw in a good shooting game there, can get you that 50 bomb. So give me some Chris Paul, give me some SGA. Not going to play Schroeder at that price tag with Chris Paul back.
All right, you keep saying some. How many lineups you're talking about? Like,
20.
if you've running 20 lineups and you've already talked about Kyrie and all these other guards, like how many lineups have Chris Paul? Because you out here window shopping. Yeah, give me some of this guy.
It's not gonna be probably like 2 of them in the 20 lineup.
2 out of 20. All right. Continue.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So give me some of him, and I'm Buddy Hield in the small forward position at 7-1. I'll get some of that, and no one else from the Kings.
I'll get some of that. This guy, Chad, my man is whistling as he walks down aisle 3.
Yes, 100K. You see, Drew, the guy that won, Drew, whatever his name is, won the 100K. Take one lineup. Get one lineup with 100K, and the rest of his 148 lineups got him a 1K total profit. One lineup, baby. It's all you need. One lineup to take it down.
20 lineups. Anyway,
that 20 at max, maybe.
Anyway, you're weird. What's tomorrow looking like, chat? Tomorrow is Thursday, right? Did we get a? No, I think we did this yesterday. We got a really nice balanced slate of games all week. Tomorrow we've got 6 games, so I might try and do another 4 p.m. stream because kind of did well here. Raptors, Cavs, Hornets. Yeah, all these games these are nice too. These are nice.
Yeah, nice juicy games.
I get Devontae Graham against the
Wizards. Say, you got Devontae Graham against the Wizards. I got Terry Rozier against the Wizards.
And Devontae, I'm not gonna lie, he hit me up on Twitter. He's like, "Hey, I'm gonna start tanking some games so my price goes down, and then we're gonna play the Wizards, and I'm gonna win you a tournament." I was like, "All right, bet." And we did that fist bump emojis, and here we are. So, just throwing it out there. Anyway, chat. What we got, chat? Before I gotta get out of here. I got the VIP voice chat. Sean says Lamb 50 bomb, Ariza 50 bomb, Giles 50 bomb. Oh man, KJ says, "Oh my God, not the 50 bombs again." Everyone goes for 50 with Raj. Yes, Raj. He could go for 50. I'll have some of that. He could go for 50. I'll have some of that.
Lineup, baby. It only takes one lineup, baby.
I hate the small forward position tonight besides Melo. Yeah, I feel like we haven't really identified a lot of strong small forwards. Is maybe DeRozan still a small forward eligible guy? 8,400. He is small forward eligible, but you got to go up there and get him, right? Anyway, guys, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me, making part of my day be part of your day. If you're on YouTube, be sure to hit that thumbs up. If you're on Twitch, you haven't followed, hit that follow button. I'll probably be back later tonight playing some video games. You guys want to hang out, chill, talk some basketball. I'll be around, laid back Cadillac Jack. Other than that, I got to get into the RunDFS.com VIP voice chat. You guys want to get on that? Well, go get yourself a subscription. Jump in here, open up the Discord, and then you'll scroll down here on the NBA section. You'll see voice chat, and you clickety-clackety that, and we'll be ready to go. Other than that, if you got anything else for me, twitter.com/GundackerSports. That's the way to do it. I hope you guys crush it tonight. I want to see them screenshots tonight, and I will see you guys mañana. Good luck. God bless. Go win some money. Love you.